must, and have to. On one hand, they are both very similar. They are both used to express necessity. That's just at the first glance. Stay with me and you will know the whole truth about these verbs. In positive sentences, they do mean the same thing. They show necessity. The only difference being that must is a modal verb and we don't add as to it when the subject is he, she, or it. And that must is only used in present tense, and have to can be used in present, past, future, or perfect tenses. So, you must do as the police officer says is equal to you have to do as the police officer says. Some people may argue that you sound stricter if you use must. But that's only personal perception, they are identical. Now in questions, that's where the differences start. First, must is a modal verb and it goes before the subject without additional auxiliary verbs like do or does. And have to is not a modal verb, so we use it with auxiliary verbs. Their meanings differ in questions as well. If you use must in a question, it means obliged, like you don't have a choice. But if you use have to, it means need, and you have a choice. The situation does not require very strict rules. For example, must I close the vault every time I leave the bank? The security asks his boss. Meaning, am I obliged to close the vault? Is it a strict necessity? Without any alternative, because he has to do as his boss tells him. Now, let's look at another example. Do I have to use 3D glasses when I'm watching a movie in 3D? Here, we use have to, because there is no strict necessity to wear 3D glasses. Nobody forces you to do that. It's up to your preference. The situation gives you the choice. And the same thing happens in negative sentences. With must, we just add not to it, without any auxiliary verbs. The meaning changes too. Must not means it is strictly forbidden. Don't have to means don't need to. It's not necessary. For example, you mustn't touch the power outlet with wet hands, meaning it's forbidden to touch the power outlet with wet hands. You don't have to eat spinach if you don't like it, meaning it's not necessary to eat spinach. It's all up to you. It's your choice. So, to conclude, in positive sentences, must and have to both mean necessary or obliged. In questions, must also means obliged without any choice. And have to in questions means need with choice. You can choose. It's not strict. In negative sentences, mustn't means it's strictly forbidden. And don't have to means there is no necessity. You can do whatever you want, but it's not necessary. And we use must only in present tense because it's a modal verb and it doesn't change its form. But we can use have to in pretty much any tense you want. That's all for now. Stay tuned for another episode.